Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Mike Martin Show here on AM 790 WPRV on Facebook Live and on YouTube. I'm your host, Scott Credici. Glad you could join us. This opening segment of the Mike Martin Show brought to you by Bay Coast Bank, providing exceptional service and financial solutions for our community since 1851. Visit baycoast.bank to learn more. It gives me great pleasure to welcome the head coach of the Bears, Mike Martin, to his show. Coach, how are you?
Scott, it gives me pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, coming off a nice win at Columbia, 93-74 over the Lions. Coach, just give me your thoughts on the game. First, 4 or 5 minutes, I thought their guards were doing a good job getting downhill into the lane on us and then forcing our bigs to help, and they were getting some easy buckets. But then after that, you guys just seemed to settle in to a nice brand of basketball and really, really played well.
Well, I thought offensively we had really good pace throughout our screening, our cutting, how we moved the ball, how we shared it. I thought our pace was really, really good. Defensively, for sure, we didn't start the game with much resistance, and Columbia was kind of getting anything they wanted. As we, I think started to impose our will a little bit defensively. We turned them over. They still shot a high percentage, higher than we'd like to give up for sure, but our defensive turnover percentage was really high. I thought our double teams and our ball screen defense and our switching and our pressure bothered them a little bit, and we got offense from our defense. So we were able to score in transition. When we executed in the half court, I thought our pace with our screening and our cutting was really good. We had a good week of practice. I don't think it's a coincidence. I thought we had a very good week of practice, 3 really good days of preparation after taking the day off. Tuesday, we did watch some film as a team after the Yale game, we challenged our players, and the guys, I think, showed that they're up for the challenge, at least last Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday against Columbia. And so far this week, we've had a good week as well as we get ready for another big one.
All right, that's good to hear. Let's go over some of the highlights from that Columbia game. And you mentioned good defense leading to good offense, and it started off that way on the opening bucket of the game for the Bears. Nweke, he'll take the top of the key jumper off the back of the rim, no good. Murphy with the offensive rebound, poked loose from behind by Lilly, picked up by D. Cho. Cho brings it back the other way, bounces to Gainey, who goes up for the jam.
What a pretty bounce pass feed from Tamanang Cho.
So the Bears getting some easy offense off a good defense as they get out in transition and tie the game at 2. And you talked about that last week, Coach, how important it is to play good defense because in many instances like that, it can lead to good or easy offense.
Yeah, offense from our defense is something we talk about all the time. We want to be a great defensive team, not just from preventing you to score on us, but also can we ignite our offense from our defense, and that was a perfect example.
You had a little bit of a switch in the starting lineup. Perry Cowan and Keno Lilly got the start, and here early on, Perry Cowan came up with a big 3. Owusu-Anani in the game, trying to dribble his way into the post, gets it up top to Cowan. Perry's 3 is good from straight away.
Yeah, good look inside by Nana to outside, and Perry hits the jumper.
And that's why Cowan was put into the starting lineup. He can give you that offense. And not only that, Coach, and you've pointed this out before, his freshman year was a great on-the-ball defender for you as well. So I know we think of Perry as a three-point shooter because that's what he is, but he can also be a very good defender for you.
Yeah, they wouldn't play for us if they didn't defend, right? So everyone on our team has to defend. That's a non-negotiable. But, yes, Perry, I think, has strengths because of his length and his attention to detail and his discipline defensively. He can guard people on the ball. He can really do a great job chasing them off ball screens, and he's got a chance here to kind of really take off with the opportunity, and so far he's done it.
All right, and here's a good example of Perry's defense. He came up with a steal, and it led to an easy bucket on the other end for the Bears. 19 minutes to go. Here is Perry Cowan with a steal. He goes coast to coast and dunks it. Oh, Perry Cowan
showed his defensive skills and his offensive explosion to the rim.
The steal and the jam. 11 points for Cowan. Bears up 56-31. And, Coach, I know you talked, last night on the Friends of Brown basketball Zoom about how, Perry's a guy that played some significant minutes as a freshman. Maybe didn't get those minutes to start, but you said he's kind of had a positive attitude. He's worked hard, and now getting more minutes as the season goes on.
Yeah, Perry's always got a great attitude. He's a great teammate. He's a competitive fighter, right? He's going to try to earn everything he can get. He knows nothing is given. We talk all the time about attitude. It's one of our core values. It's easy to have a great attitude when things are going your way, but when things aren't going your way, and you go from a starter as a freshman to a guy who's coming off the bench now as a junior, some games not even playing, are you still going to have the same attitude? And Perry has, and he's worked on his shooting, on his defense, on his fitness, and he's put himself in position now where he's earned the opportunity to be a starter for us, and I'm excited about how he's handled some adversity and pushed through it and come out better from it.
Jaylen Gainey, the reigning Ivy League Defensive Player of the Year, and he has certainly looked the part these last couple of games against Yale and Columbia. And here, a Gainey block leads to a Ticho 3 down the other end. Pass it left corner to Murphy. Down low to Harding. Pumps, goes up, shot blocked by Gainey.
Don't come in here, son. That's what he just said.
You could tell it was on Harding's mind when he saw number 22 in front of him.
Yeah, stay away.
Cho steps back, takes the 3, and knocks it down. Tamanong Cho with 14 points.
He shed Ike Nowicki that time with a little bit of a shoulder fake and a step back to make that jumper.
Bears 59, Lions 36, 17-10 to go here in New York City. If my memory serves me right, Jaylen the past 2 games, I think, has had 8 rebounds in each, 5 blocks against Yale, 2 blocks against Columbia. And that's the guy that won Ivy League Defensive Player of the Year honors 2 years ago.
Yeah, played really well both games, and even when he doesn't block shots, we talk about all the time how he changes shots in there, how he alters shots, and Jaylen, when he's playing like he did against Yale and Columbia, I don't think there's anyone in the league who is as dominant of defensive and rebounding force as him, and we want him to continue that, and when he does do those things, we become a really good team.
Coach, I know how much you like to emphasize defense and practice with your guys, but one of the things that Russ and I enjoy the most is watching the unselfishness of your team on the offensive end, and this particular play was a great example of it. Here's Cho with the basketball down low. Puts it on the deck. Backs his way into the paint, pumps, now gets it to Noah Marin. Thought about the open 3, passes it up. They get it on the left side to Ferrari for 3.
How beautiful was that?
Marin had an open 3, got it to Lilly, who had a more open 3, who got it to Ferrari, who had an even more open 3.
Yeah, Lilly's a great 3-point shooter, and he passed it up to get it to his teammate.
Yeah, I just love seeing stuff like that. Like Noah, Keno, could have taken the shot, but they ended up getting it to Kimo for an even more open look.
Yeah, and obviously it starts with T, right?
Yep.
He commands so much attention from the defense, and he makes the right basketball play more often than not. They double down, and he kicks it out, and we turn down a good shot for a better shot. We talk about that all the time. We celebrate those types of plays, right? Turn down a good shot to get our team a better shot, and that was a perfect example of it.
One of the guys that played really well off the bench for you was Nana Owusu-Anani. I just thought that his line was terrific, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But here, Keno Lilly found Nana for 2. 82-64, Brown by 18, 3:40 to go. Ferrari gets it near midcourt to Lilly. Lilly finds Owusu-Anani on the right of the key, hands it back to Keno there. Keno dribbles it up top, now in the paint. Nice bounce pass to Owusu-Anani, who lays it in.
Yeah, bounce pass in a lot of traffic and found its way to Nana. Good read by Keno.
12 points for Owusu-Anani. 84-64, Brown by 20. 3:19 to go. 12 points, 3 rebounds, 3 steals, 2 assists. That's a pretty good line for Nana.
He played great, and he practiced really well last week. I was happy that he played the way he did. Obviously, bring a guy like him off the bench, it just speaks to the depth and the talent on our roster. Him and Jaylen compete every day with each other, along with Malachi Nader. Malachi obviously isn't shown his skills so much in game action, but he's another really good young front court player we have. And then Keno and Nana in that 2-man action, obviously. He's so good as a scorer, but he's also a really good passer and playmaker, and Nana's really good in traffic, and that's a combination of 2-man action that I think we should all be excited about for the years to come.
Yep, there's a lot of basketball still to be played, but in my opinion, one of the leaders for Ivy League Rookie of the Year honors has to be Keno Lilly, and here Lilly hit one of his patented step-back threes. 9 in the shot clock. Lilly trying to make something happen. Shake and bake, crossover dribble, step back three, left of the key for Lilly is good. How about that for soft touch?
Just the softest touch you can imagine this kid has. You know, Scott, it goes up like I was thinking, like a balloon. In other words, balloon much softer than a basketball. I don't know how he does it.
8 points for Lilly, 87-66, Brown by 21, 2.5 to go. He's been very consistent for you, and that's not something you get often out of first-year players.
Yeah, no, he's terrific. He's really good, with the ball in his hands. He's really good cutting without the ball. He can score it. He can set up his teammates. He's really good in ball screen defense. He's got quick hands, really good feet. His speed in the open court is dynamite. I mean, he's got so many great qualities, but he's humble. He's a great teammate. He wants to get better. He's really coachable. His sky's the limit for Keno.
So you guys pick up the win 93-74, and we'll get more into the Cornell game, which is coming up this Saturday at home. But I just thought overall, and I don't know if you can recall every game at this moment in your head, but I thought that was one of our more solid performances start to finish of the year.
I thought we played really well. We played with great energy and spirit. Kemo really lifts us in those ways, and I thought when he came into the game, he really got us going. We started turning Columbia's guards over. I thought David Mitchell had a couple great defensive plays to turn over Nowacki and some low post double teams. Nowacki's a handful down low.
Yes, he is.
He's averaging over 18 points a game. So, and then again, I know we talked about it, but our pace and our flow on offense didn't call a ton of plays. We called some, but a lot of it was our guys playing in transition and playing in our offense. And when we did call set plays, we looked to attack certain matchups. And I thought Noah did a great job making the right plays when he was in situations where he could be a playmaker. Obviously, T continues to play at such a high level offensively, and we got on the offensive glass. There's a lot of good things that happened on Saturday, and we've that's beyond us. But we want to take what we did well and continue to try to do those things as we move forward.
And I mentioned Keno being certainly one of the candidates for Ivy League Rookie of the Year honors here early in the Ivy season. I think Columbia has one of those guys too in Rubio De La Rosa. He's a talented kid.
He's good. He's fast. He can shoot it. He can put it off the bounce. He presents a lot of issues because of his speed and his shooting ability.
And before the game, I know the team stayed in Westchester and Tarrytown, and you got a chance to do a morning shoot-around, an optional shoot-around at Rye Country Day, where a former Brown alum is the headmaster who will be stepping down, Scott Nelson, former Brown football captain of the 1976 Ivy champs.
Yeah, grateful to Scott and the people at Rye Country Day, appreciative that they gave us the opportunity to go in there and get some shots. 2 o'clock game, didn't want to go all the way into the city, given that we were staying in Westchester, so it was a great option, great alternative for the guys on our team that wanted to get some shots up. We went over there around 8:30 and got some good work in, and then came back, had a good breakfast, and walked through, and took the bus down to Manhattan. And so very, very appreciative of Scott and the good folks down there at Rye Country Day.
Yeah, it's just a good example of, I think, when you're part of the Brown family, right, that's permanent. And Scott...
Ever true, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And Scott was more than willing when he heard that Brown basketball wanted to shoot around at his school's gym. He said, absolutely. He said, Scott, this stuff is as important, if not more important to us than it is to your team to be able to shoot around in our gym. He thinks it's just great.
Yeah, ever true to Brown, and there's so many people out there that it's not just a slogan. It rings. It's deep, and it runs deep. And obviously, this place is special because of so many fantastic people like Scott Nelson.
All right, we'll take a timeout. When we come back on the Mike Martin Show, we'll be joined by junior guard Josh Watts and sophomore guard Kimo Ferrari. More of the Mike Martin Show right after this.
The British! They're here!
Sir, this is our Bay Coast Bank interactive teller machine, not the British. With our local ITM personal bankers, you can cash checks, make loan payments, and deposit or withdraw funds with extended hours beyond regular branch hours.
Genius!
Thank you!
I would like to make a withdrawal.
Great! How much?
12 shillings, please.
Elite Physical Therapy is a proud partner of Brown Bears Athletics. Achieving elite levels of performance is a pursuit held by all athletes, so we wanted to know how members of Brown's coaching staff defined elite.
elite means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but I would say it's somebody who's pursuing their potential to the absolute ends. And so, for some people that might mean, the Olympic Games and pursuing medals, and for other people that might mean trying to get onto the roster, to travel to HEPS and our Ivy League championship, and to score a point for the team by the time they're a senior. So everybody's potential lies in a different place, but if you're truly pursuing your potential to the absolute end, then that's what being elite is to me.
Now taking off, Breeze Airways with nice, new, and non-stop flights to Pittsburgh, Charleston, and Norfolk. Only on Breeze Airways.
Doctors at University Orthopedics have been caring for the people of southeastern New England for more than 40 years. With the Warren Alpert Medical School of Brown University, we train the next generation of orthopedic surgeons. Our state-of-the-art facilities stretch from Westerly to Mansfield. At our East Bay Surgery Center, we've performed thousands of surgeries, including same-day total joint replacements. We've grown through the years, but our goal has always been getting you back to doing what you love to do. The best orthopedic care anywhere is right here. University Orthopedics.
From corporate events to weddings by the bay to private celebrations, the Pronzi name means elegance, personalized service, and exacting attention to detail. Pronzi has everything you need in one place: event planning, catering, tents, tables and chairs, decor, and so much more. Call Pronzi today and let them plan your next event. Why go anywhere else?
The British! They're here!
Sir, this is our Bay Coast Bank interactive teller machine, not the British. With our local ITM personal bankers, you can cash checks, make loan payments, and deposit or withdraw funds with extended hours beyond regular branch hours.
Genius!
Thank you!
I would like to make a withdrawal.
Great! How much?
12 shillings, please.
Doctors at University Orthopedics have been caring for the people of southeastern New England for more than 40 years. With the Warren Alpert Medical School of Brown University, we train the next generation of orthopedic surgeons. Our state-of-the-art facilities stretch from Westerly to Mansfield. At our East Bay Surgery Center, we've performed thousands of surgeries, including same-day total joint replacements. We've grown through the years, but our goal has always been getting you back to doing what you love to do. The best orthopedic care anywhere is right here. University Orthopedics.
From corporate events to weddings by the bay to private celebrations, the Pronzi name means elegance, personalized service, and exacting attention to detail. Pronzi has everything you need in one place: event planning, catering, tents, tables and chairs, decor, and so much more. Call Pronzi today and let them plan your next event. Why go anywhere else?
Welcome back to the Mike Martin Show here on AM 790 WPRV, on Facebook Live and on YouTube. I'm your host, Scott Credisci. Glad you could join us. This portion of the Mike Martin Show brought to you by the Brown University Sports Foundation. Through your donations and the work of our volunteers, the Brown Sports Foundation is committed to providing funding and support to Brown athletics to enhance the student-athlete experience. Thank you for your generosity and your service to Brown athletics. And right now, it gives me great pleasure to welcome to the show, to my immediate right, we've got junior swingman, guard forward. What are you, a guard or a forward? Josh Watts.
I'll say a guard, but thank you for having me.
All right, Josh, thank you for being with us. And to your right, we have sophomore guard Kimo Ferrari. Kimo, how are you?
Doing great. Thank you for having us.
Well, guys, thanks for joining me on the show. We'll start with you, Josh. All right, so you're a guard, and I would agree with that statement. You know, you like to shoot the three, and you shoot it pretty well. In fact, you made one against Columbia. Nice win against the Lions.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Just talk a little bit about that game. I thought you guys you played great. The first 5 minutes of the game, I thought Columbia, they were really kind of getting their guards downhill, getting into the paint, and then drawing our big man and help defense, and they got some easy buckets. But after that, it looked like the team settled down and just played great basketball.
Yeah, no, I think it just took some time for us to sit down and play our game. We needed the win. We were desperate for a win, so we just had to play hungry. We came out strong and was able to get it done. So.
Kimo, same question to you. Like I said, it looked like the first 5 minutes I was a little concerned because their guards were really getting downhill on us. What changed that allowed you guys to kind of turn that game around?
Yeah, no, they're a really good team, but I thought we were able to sit on defense, and our defense really helped our offense, and we could play with the pace we wanted. So from there on, I think we played our game and then came out with the win. That's all that matters.
So, Josh, you're a junior from Beltsville, Maryland. I have to ask you this because I got to be honest with you. I think the DMV area has produced a lot of good basketball players, but in particular, I have noticed probably this year more than any other, there's a ton of good players from your state, from Maryland. Like our all-time leading scorer, Earl Hunt, is from Maryland.
Right.
You're from Maryland. Lily's from Maryland. And then I noticed, like, when we play different teams, the opponent's best player is from Maryland. Pretty good high school hoops in Maryland?
Yeah, arguably the best basketball conference in the country for high school. So it's a lot of talent in the area. You grow up with different guys, and getting to see everyone play at the college level is fun.
And Kimo, there's a lot of great surfers in San Diego.
Yeah, there is.
Good basketball players too, right?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about how you both wound up here at Brown. Josh, you're a junior, so take us back to the whole recruiting process a few years ago. I'm sure you had options, and what made this the right spot for you?
Yeah, so in high school, once I was talking to Coach Martin, I got to also talk to Tavon Blackman, who also went to my high school, Gonzaga.
Yep.
And he was a big person that I was talking to, just getting information from, talking to a lot to, make my decision. And, when I took my visit here, my family came up with me, and this just felt the most like home. So it was a great fit for me and my family, and it just had the best balance of academics and basketball.
Yeah, Tavon was a heck of a player for us. Kimo, same question to you. I mean, coming from the West Coast to the East Coast, how'd you wind up here at Brown?
Yeah, for the most part, Brown was my only Division I offer, so that was why I chose here. But for the most part, didn't really know if I was going to play college basketball for most of high school. And then Coach Martin came calling, I think the March of my senior year, and it was a no-brainer, just a combination of academics and athletics here. So I had to choose it.
You didn't know if you were going to play college basketball? Was there another sport that you could have played in college?
No, I'm not sure. I just didn't have any offers.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So, let's talk a little bit about, the COVID year, right? I mean, you both were affected by it. No season last year. For you, Josh, it was a freshman season and then no basketball last year. What was that like, not having a season last year, and how great is it to be back out there again this year?
It was crazy. You just never think something like this is going to happen. So it was definitely a surprise. But I took a gap semester, so for the fall I was home the entire time.
Okay.
So that was a different experience. Taking no classes, I was able to do some internships, so just to stay on with things. But just being back now, being around the guys, it's like the best part. Just being back playing basketball after a whole year off. Just nothing better.
You probably remember like me. I remember it like it was yesterday. We finished the season strong with wins at Harvard and Dartmouth on that last weekend before everything was shut down, right? I mean, COVID just shut the Ivy League tournament down, and then all of a sudden it was like dominoes. Every other conference, shut it down, and then the pros shut it down because of COVID. But my point is we were a pretty good team. And although we just missed out on a tiebreaker of qualifying for the Ivy tournament that year, we would have played postseason basketball.
Yeah.
And, of course, we couldn't because of the shutdown.
Right. Yeah, that was unfortunate. And, so just missing a whole year, I kind of forgot that, what it was like to be around the guys and just have practice every day. But it's just good to be back.
How about you, Kimo? You're coming to Brown, your first year of college basketball, and nothing.
Yeah, no, it was great last year. We were able to get on the court and practice, but this year is totally different. The games are totally different, and just being around the guys in the locker room. I feel like we have a tight-knit group, and it's just great to be around them all the time.
Josh, I'm going to talk a little bit about, your games, both of you, and we'll start with you. To me, you are a shooter, and you're a confident shooter. I think if you're going to be a shooter, you have to have confidence, and I see that in you. I see it in practice, and I see it when you get into games as well. Like, if you're open and you get the ball, you're going to let it fly.
Yeah, definitely. It's just, reps. So just, when you put so much time into it and, off the court, outside of practice, you're putting in the time, trying to get that shot right. You got to have confidence in yourself or else you're not going to make the shots. So just having that confidence in yourself, trusting your work, just have confidence, it's going to go in.
Kimo, I think one of the more underrated parts of your game is your ability to hit the outside shot, hit the three. And I say that because we all love what you do on the other end of the floor, your defense. It gets me charged up. It gets your teammates charged up. You just bring an energy to the floor with your defense. Has that always been your game? Were you that type of player in high school?
For the most part. I went to a smaller high school, so sometimes I guarded the 5. But out here at Brown, I feel like one of my jobs is to bring energy on the defensive end, so that's what I'm trying to do every night.
I mean, do you like marvel at what this guy does defensively?
No, yeah, it's crazy. Every game, you can always count on, a big charge of energy from Chemo. So
like most guys, like when you let's say you're picking up full court. Most guys, when the ball handler gets by you, a lot of times they'll try to reach and poke it loose from behind. I've never seen anybody hustle to get back in front of the guy more than him. Like
No.
it just doesn't happen. It's not normal.
Yeah, no, it's not. But he does it every time. So
Yeah, I mean, you seem to enjoy too when you do get that call when you draw the charge.
Yeah, no, the celebration after is always a little bit natural, but just trying to bring the energy, so I guess that's what comes out of me at the end.
So how you doing in terms of? I know you had to deal with the whole COVID protocol, and I've talked to you about it. You didn't even really know you had it, right? You thought maybe you just had mild cold symptoms and stuff like that. What was that like for you?
Yeah, I had a little bit of a cough. I was actually on the way to the gym to shoot with Felix, and I get a call from the trainer saying I have COVID. It was just like total shock. So I felt fine, just like a little sick that I just couldn't go on the team trip to Princeton. So all it was just a little disappointed I couldn't play the games, but it felt good, like health-wise.
And look, I mean, would have, could have, should have. Who knows? But in my opinion, I feel like if you're with us for Princeton and Yale, I think we got a good shot at winning those two games. I mean, we did anyway, but I feel like your presence could have made a difference.
Yeah, we'll get them 2 times here, so I think we'll hopefully change things second time around.
Josh, last week I was talking to the guys about this, Perry in particular. I said, look, I know how it operates. You guys were all stars in high school, right? But unfortunately, you come to college, and now you're a team full of guys that were stars in high school, and there's only 5 starting spots and 1 basketball, right? Everybody wants to play 40 minutes, but the reality is that's not the case. What's it like, being a role player on the team? I know you want to be out there, 20, 30 minutes a game, but what's it like from your perspective?
yeah, it's different. It takes some getting used to, and it's challenging to not always get the results you want after you put in the work. But you just keep working hard, doing all you can, and results will come. And I think this is gonna prepare me for like life in general. Just being able to push through adversity. So. I'm taking what I can and just working hard still every day.
And you look at this roster, and I've covered this program for so many years. I'm an old guy, in case you didn't notice, but seriously, I think this is the deepest roster I think I've seen in my years covering Brown, and I've been covering this program since the mid-'90s. I just feel like top to bottom, there's so much talent on this team. Do you agree with that? I mean, just comparing it maybe to your team 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think this is definitely one of my favorite teams I've ever played on. And talent-wise, we are very deep, so I agree completely.
So I've heard that from other teammates as well, that this team is close-knit, really tight. You see that, Kimo?
Yeah, I think so. I think hopefully you guys can see it out on the court, but a lot of the best times that we have are in the locker room, on the road trips, on the bus. So love being around the team, and I don't know. It's just a really tight-knit group, so I can say.
I played a highlight earlier in the first segment with Coach Martin in the show of a play at Columbia, and I don't know if you remember, it was you hit the 3, but it was, an open shot by Noah Marin. He passes it down, gives it to Lily, who has an even more open look at 3, who passes it up to give it to you to have an even more open 3. That kind of, to me, epitomizes this team, right? The kind of the unselfishness.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think when we move the ball, we're playing our best, and everyone knows that. So we're trying to be a real unselfish team, and nobody really has any agendas. So that's really our MO.
I know this Ivy League season didn't get off to the start that we thought it would, that we hoped it would, but there's nothing you can do about the games that have been already played, right? You just got to kind of knock them down one at a time and just kind of focus on whatever's ahead of you at the moment.
Definitely. I think, sometimes you are looking at the bigger picture too much, and, sometimes you have to scale it down a little bit and focus on one game at a time, one day at a time, really. So we're just focused on each and every practice. So, just like, what can I do today to help us, change that?
I mean, same thing, same question to you.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's very easy to get caught in, like, the long-term goal. But for us as a team, I think we're just trying to win each day and attack each day, like, as a battle. So trying to win the practice, and then when we get to those games, we're really prepared.
So before we get into this weekend's game against Cornell, let's talk a little bit about there's a snowstorm that's supposedly in the forecast for Saturday. Now, you're a guy from San Diego. Come on. How many times have you had to deal with snowstorms?
Not at all. These are my snowshoes right here. My running shoes are a little slippery, so when the snow comes out, I put on these little bad boys, and they walk me out to the gym.
So you're going to enjoy the first snowstorm, or you've already seen some flurries? Do you not like it already?
I thought we already got the snowstorm. I
No.
thought we were out of it. I thought we were into spring
No,
now.
no. Like a true nor'easter, we're talking about like a foot of snow or more in one storm.
I think I might have to change my shoes. I'm not ready.
I think you might have to
Yeah.
too. I mean, you get some snow down in Maryland. I mean, not a ton, but
Yeah.
you get some down there, so you know what it's about.
Definitely.
And you've been up here, right? Although we haven't really had bad winters, I think, in the 2 years you've been up here.
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about Cornell, and without giving away any game plans. I mean, they're a very talented team. They're one of the highest scoring teams. They are the highest scoring team in the league, but they play at a very fast pace. They play a lot of guys. So, you guys have your work cut out for you. How do you deal with that challenge, keeping up with a team that likes to get up and down the floor?
Yeah, for the most part, just trusting what the coaching staff gives us. They always make us very well prepared for each game, but I think for the most part, I think we're going to be focusing on ourselves, and if we play our game, I think we're one of the better teams in the Ivy League, so just try and play our game.
Josh?
Yeah, I just want to echo what Kimo said. I think, we have to, of course, prepare for them like we do every game, but I think just focusing on ourselves is what we're really worried about right now.
Now, you're a junior. What is your concentration?
Business econ.
Okay. And what do you hope to do after Brown?
Still figuring that out right now. This summer I'm going to be doing consulting. So
For?
Accenture. So
okay.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that. So I'm just trying to figure out everything, but seeing what's out there.
Have you had a chance to tap into the Brown Alumni Network at all?
I have. In the fall during my gap semester, I was able to work with 2 Brown alums, so that was a good experience.
Oh, yeah? Tell us who and where, if you can.
Yeah, so one was Masai Interactive with Tony T. He was a Brown alum.
Yeah.
Didn't play basketball, but still a Brown alum.
Yeah.
And then the other one was with a fintech company in New York, and it was called Viable Markets. And
nice.
Some of the other guys have done work with that company as well. So
that's great.
That was a great experience.
Now, you're a sophomore. Have you decided on a concentration yet? When do you have to decide? Is it sophomore year?
I think it's by the end of my sophomore year.
Okay.
I'm also thinking of doing business econ, so just following the route of Josh over here and taking a lot of the same classes as him.
Yeah. I know Coach Martin's done a good job of reconnecting our basketball alumni to the program, and I know you guys have had a chance to Zoom with some. The Black Excellence Speaker Series, I think, was a great idea that Coach had that you guys have executed. You guys realize, don't you, like the power of the Brown Alumni Network? That's probably part of the reason you came here, right?
No, definitely, yeah. It's like a very strong network. Just exciting to be able to meet people that were in the same shoes as you once before. And, I think they understand how hard it is to be an athlete and a student at Brown. So, just people that have like-minded, goals and they experience the same things you went through. It's fun to have conversations with them.
Kimo, I know it sounds like a cliche, but it's true. I think when you pick a school like Brown, it's not just a 4-year decision, it's a 40-year decision, right? You're setting yourself up for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. I think, as you said, the Alumni Network is really great. It's like a great program, so a lot of guys are very willing to give back to a lot of the guys here on the team right now, and myself and a lot of guys on the team are very grateful for it.
So I know after the Columbia game, a couple of guys, yourself included, stayed in New York. I think JG was one of them. Did you stay? I know your sister is in New York, right?
Yep, my sister was in New York. My mom ended up flying out to the game.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, she was. She
Great.
was out there, and then my uncle was out there as well. So it was a whole family affair.
That's great.
Home game for the Bears.
Yeah, and it's nice because, we do have a lot of New York City alumni. We do always have a lot of alumni and fans that show up when we play at Columbia. But it's been nice. You've really been able to see the family quite a bit this season, right? Whether it was in St. Thomas, I think your sister came up here with your mom for Thanksgiving or whatever. So you've been able to see the family, which, that's not easy when you consider one's in New York, one's in California, and you're up here.
Yeah, for sure. No, the St. Thomas trip was very good. I mean, I think a lot of the family members from all the team were out there. And then just whenever I can see them is great since they're so far away. So,
Josh, did you have family in attendance down at Maryland?
I did. I had a lot of family, a lot of friends, so it was great seeing everybody. Not being home for that long for Christmas break, it was great to be able to come back home and see everyone.
All right, so let's get away from the basketball talk for a second. We'll have a little fun. Favorite spot on Thayer Street?
Favorite spot on Thayer? Right now, I'm going to say Aroma Joe's.
Okay, how about you?
I'm about to go with Chinatown. Hot take.
Chinatown?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So that leads me to my next question. favorite, like, pig-out food? Like, if there's one food that you could eat all the time, what would it be?
No disrespect, I'm gonna have to say Chinatown.
Yeah, Chinatown. When I'm back home, it's Mexican food. I can
Okay.
eat Mexican food every single day.
Mexican food a lot better in San Diego than it is up here?
I would say a little bit. It's a little bit different, a little better.
Because I like a place like Baja, you know?
Yeah, no, Baja's is really good. I go
Yeah.
there a lot.
Yeah.
But I think it's just a little bit different of a taste.
Okay. So this is a question I asked of the guys last week. I'm curious to get your take on this. Who's the funniest guy in the team?
I'll say Lindell, Harold.
Okay.
Lindell's pretty funny. I'm about to go with Felix. Felix is a pretty good jokester.
Okay.
Nah, he is.
So the answer they gave me surprised me because he's kind of a quiet guy. They said that Keno is like kind of underrated funny.
No, I would agree with that.
Yeah, he is. He's pretty funny if you can catch it.
Yeah.
When you're not playing basketball, when you're not studying or going to class, and you have free time, what do you like to do with it?
On the video game with my teammates a lot, and then also making music on the side a little bit.
Xbox or PlayStation?
PlayStation.
And what's the game of choice?
We're playing GTA a lot right now, but I'm a big 2K guy as well.
Okay. And you said you like to create music?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So I started around my freshman year, just playing around with stuff, having fun, and then I wouldn't say I take it serious right now, but just kind of something I do to have fun on the side.
How about you? What do you do with your free time when you get away from basketball and the academics?
For the most part, it's like more sports. I just like watching it, like watching like the NFL games this weekend, watching some baseball when baseball's on, and watching a lot of college basketball.
Are you a Chargers fan even though they left your hometown?
I don't really have an NFL team. I really just like to watch the players. So I love Josh Allen. I love the way he watched you play. So that was a brutal game this weekend. I don't know.
Was that not the best weekend of NFL football you've ever seen, though? All three games went right to the very end.
Yeah, no, that was one of the best weekends I've ever watched. No, for sure. I think every single game came down to a game winner somehow.
So I'm a Patriots fan, so Josh Allen is one of our division rivals. But I got to tell you something. I've always liked the Bills because I went to school at Syracuse. So I went to many Buffalo Bills games and actually saw the Patriots when they came up there. But it's a blue-collar town. They love their Bills. And the Bills are kind of like the Boston Red Sox pre-2004. They've been hard luck losers. They lost in 4 straight Super Bowls. That was a crushing defeat to Kansas City. You know, until the Red Sox won that first World Championship in 86 years in 2004, I kind of feel like that's where the Bills are right now. They're kind of, I'm kind of sympathetic to their cause.
No, for sure. And like with the AFC, you have so many like good quarterbacks coming up. You have Mahomes, who's going to be there for a couple years, and now you have Joe Burrow coming up. So I don't know, it's going to be tough for them to win the AFC for sure.
Like I feel like too. It's funny you mentioned all the quarterbacks like Mahomes and Allen. With what Kansas City and Buffalo have had the last couple of years, I almost feel like this could be Brady Manning, Patriots, Colts for like another 10 years.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think I saw a stat like the last 3 games between the Bills and the Chiefs, it's been 198. So it's just like hard-fought battles, which is going to go on for years. And I'm here to enjoy it.
Your favorite pro sports teams, are they, like the Ravens or, like the Wizards? Like, do you Baltimore, Washington, or what?
I'm a Wizards fan.
Yeah.
But football, I don't really have a team. I used to be a Giants fan, but they just have made so many poor decisions, in my opinion. So I kind of stepped away from the NFL. But my mom and my sister are huge Ravens fans, so I'm always around it.
Did you see that loss the Wizards had to the Clippers last night?
I didn't see it, but I heard about it.
35-point lead they had.
I heard it came down to the last 13 seconds, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What's your favorite spot on campus, Kimo?
Favorite spot on campus? Probably our locker room. I spend a lot of time in our locker room, and you can always find some guys there, so it's always a pretty good spot to be at.
Josh, what about you?
I'm going to have to say the locker room as well.
Same thing?
Yeah, just always walking in. Sometimes you have a stressful day. You can always walk in there and just, no matter how stressful your day was, someone's going to make a joke. So it's eventually going to make you laugh, and, you'll be able to step away from that for a little bit.
All right, person you text with the most?
On the team?
Just in general. Who do you text with the most?
Probably my mom.
Okay, what about you?
Probably my dad.
Okay. Yeah. Movie you've seen the most times?
Friday.
Okay, that's a good one.
I'm not much of a movie person. I don't know. I can't really think of anything. Maybe I'm just blanking.
Okay, not much of a movie person. All right, this is a tough one. This might take some thinking. If you could be anyone for a day, who would you want to be? Anyone else besides yourself? tough one, huh?
That is a tough one.
Or if you could meet anyone, dead or alive, for a day, if you could meet anybody, who would that be? Did I stump the experts here?
Yeah.
I think I'm being Fernando Tatis. I don't know. I love him.
Okay.
And I can't dance, so I want. If I could be him for a day, one day, I'd just be dancing.
I like it. I like it. You know, Donnie Orsillo, the Padres play-by-play guy, used to be the Red Sox play-by-play guy.
No, I had no idea.
Oh, yeah. He used to live here in Rhode Island, as a matter of
Really,
fact. He's a
really?
great guy.
Yeah.
Great guy.
I'm going to say Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant. You know what? That's a good pick, too.
Yeah. A lot of people just speak to his mentality and stuff. So I think having a conversation with him would be really
Mamba
interesting.
mentality.
For sure.
Too. Yeah. When the game was on the line, he was an assassin.
Yeah.
He was as good as it gets. Well, guys, look, good luck against Cornell on Saturday. Hopefully that snowstorm isn't bad, but the Big Red will be in town anyway on Friday, so I'm sure we're going to play the game, and thank you for joining us on Coach's Show.
No, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
All right, Kimo Ferrari, Josh Watts, our guest here on the Mike Martin Show. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, Coach Martin will rejoin us, and we'll preview that matchup with the Big Red when we continue right after this.
The British! They're here!
Sir, this is our Bay Coast Bank interactive teller machine, not the British. With our local ITM personal bankers, you can cash checks, make loan payments, and deposit or withdraw funds with extended hours beyond regular branch hours.
Genius!
Thank you.
I would like to make a withdrawal.
Great. How much?
12 shillings, please.
My name is Mick Young Mobilia. I'm a breast cancer survivor. I just knew that something wasn't right. So I ended up calling Rhode Island Medical Imaging, and they gave me an appointment right away. They were able to fit me right in, and that's where they found out that I had breast cancer. It's a miracle that they found it. Whoever the radiologist is, they basically saved my life. Had they not found it, it could have gotten a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse the following year because I have invasive ductal carcinoma, and I already had one lymph node involvement. I couldn't even say the word breast cancer. So the fact that RIMI can provide a place where when you walk in, when you're so scared that you don't know where your life is going, and you walk in there, just the environment itself, you can relax. I'm glad that they look at every film individually. It's more than just a film that they're looking at, that they see a human behind it.
Hi.
How are you?
Dr. Hillstrom, nice to meet you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You can have all the money in the world, but you know what? Breast cancer doesn't see that. So for me, it's to enjoy every day of your life. My name is Mick Young Mobilia, and I am the luckiest girl on this earth.
Now taking off, Breeze Airways with nice, new, and non-stop flights to Pittsburgh, Charleston, and Norfolk. Only on Breeze Airways.
Doctors at University Orthopedics have been caring for the people of southeastern New England for more than 40 years. With the Warren Alpert Medical School of Brown University, we train the next generation of orthopedic surgeons. Our state-of-the-art facilities stretch from Westerly to Mansfield. At our East Bay Surgery Center, we've performed thousands of surgeries, including same-day total joint replacements. We've grown through the years, but our goal has always been getting you back to doing what you love to do. The best orthopedic care anywhere is right here. University Orthopedics.
From corporate events to weddings by the bay to private celebrations, the Pronzi name means elegance, personalized service, and exacting attention to detail. Pronzi has everything you need in one place: event planning, catering, tents, tables and chairs, decor, and so much more. Call Pronzi today and let them plan your next event. Why go anywhere else?
The British! They're here!
Sir, This is our Bay Coast Bank interactive teller machine, not the British. With our local ITM personal bankers, you can cash checks, make loan payments, and deposit or withdraw funds with extended hours beyond regular branch hours.
Genius!
Thank you.
I would like to make a withdrawal.
Great. How much?
12 shillings, please.
Welcome back to the Mike Martin Show here on AM 790 WPRV on Facebook Live and on YouTube. Scott Credisci with you. We're joined by the head coach of the Bears, Mike Martin. Our final segment of the program is brought to you by Ticket Smarter. Nothing beats the power and excitement of live events like Ticket Smarter for all the best sports, concerts, and theater events. Tickets, visit Ticketsmarter.com or on the app. Ticketsmarter, proud to be the official ticket resale marketplace at Brown Athletics. Ticketsmarter, a smarter way to buy tickets. All right, Coach. Now the schedule starts to turn in the Bears' favor a little bit in that you'll be playing a lot of games at home here down the stretch, starting with this Saturday against Cornell.
Yeah, always good to be home. Classes started this week at Brown, so students are back. We're hopeful that we get a big turnout of fans this weekend and moving forward. Doesn't mean we're going to automatically play well. We have to do what it takes to perform at the level we want to perform at, whether we're home or road. We've had some really good performances on the road this year, and we've had some at home that really aren't up to what we need to be. So, but excited to be back home. Excited that we can sleep in our own beds. Excited that our fans and our students can come out and support us in some big Ivy League games.
And they're forecasting a snow event for Saturday, a snowstorm. But the good news is the Big Red will be in town. They get here on Friday. So we're playing basketball, we think, at the Pizzatola Sports Center. And the game will be at 4 o'clock on not only ESPN Plus, but on NESN Plus. And it's always great to get that additional exposure for Brown basketball.
Anytime we can be on linear television, I think it's great, whether it's national or regional. There's so many people in the Northeast who have NESN and can watch us. So, excited for that opportunity. And hopefully the snowstorm doesn't keep too many people away. The students don't really have an excuse. They don't have to drive, so they can just get their snow boots on, their winter coat on, and they come pack the pits.
All right. If not, they can watch it on NESN Plus or ESPN Plus, right? But I agree with you. Let's get a good crowd, big student turnout for that game. Let's talk about this Cornell team. 10-6, 2-3 in the Ivies, and the leading scoring team in the Ivy League.
Yeah, a really potent offensive team. Brian Earl is a guy I have great respect for. I think he's really taken a roster of guys who prior to this year really hadn't had a whole lot of experience, and he's maximized everything he can out of them. I think they've got really good talent. They have depth. They play 12 guys, 10 minutes or more per game. They play at a breakneck pace, right? They're the sixth fastest tempo team in the country, far and away the leading tempo team in the Ivy League. They play fast, they pressure, and they rotate guys in and out. So, there's some really talented individual performers, but it's not like you can just look at one or two guys and say, we've got to shut those two guys down, because they have 12 of them. And they've had, I don't know what the stat is, but they've had probably 10 guys who've been in double figures or better throughout the year, and they've had a handful of guys who've gone for 20 or more in a game. So, Jones just came back off injury. He's their leading scorer, but he came off the bench against Harvard, right? And they beat Harvard by 15 the other day. So, they run some traditional Princeton actions and concepts, given Brian's experience as a player and coach at Princeton. It's just at warp speed, right? So, transition defense and making sure we're organized, making sure we know who's in the game for them, because they play so many people, are going to be big keys for us.
That's interesting, because when I hear you say they operate some of that stuff, but it's at warp speed, that's different from the old school Pete Carrill traditional Princeton offense, where it's very slow and methodical. We're just going to, do things at our pace, fewer possessions. That's not what this team's all about.
Not at all. And I think, again, Brian and his staff deserve so much credit, for their creativity, their innovation. He's always, never played at a really slow pace since he's been at Cornell, but this year it's just different. And again, I think he looked at his roster and he saw all these options and all this depth. And obviously there's differences between the players that they play. But I think there's also a lot of similarities. And he said, all right, how can I maximize this? Let's play really fast. Let's be really unique. Let's pressure you defensively. Let's play really fast on offense with still some of those Princeton movements and structure,
right.
And it's been really hard for a lot of teams to play against. I mean, obviously we talked about the Harvard win; they won by 15. They had Princeton beat until the last-second shot at the buzzer by Matt Alacco. Their non-conference schedule was, they were so impressive in all the games I've seen. A lot of people who maybe don't guard those things every day at that pace had no chance in guarding. I mean, their offensive numbers in non-conference are, off the charts.
You referenced that 15-point win over Harvard up in Ithaca last week. In that game, they shot it very well, over 50% from the field. I think they were 45% from three. Conversely, they held the Crimson down. Their shooting numbers were in, I think, 36% from the field, 25% from three. And they out-rebounded them by 18. Now, that can be a product, too, of one team missing more shots like Harvard did. But the two numbers that stand out to me, Coach, I know they're the top-scoring offense in the league, but they're second in both defensive field goal percentage and three-point field goal percentage.
Yeah.
So they must be getting it done on the other end to a certain extent, too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Bryant, they play both sides of the basketball. They just played at a really fast pace, right? So there's going to be more possessions probably in the game than in a normal game. And, it's going to come at you fast. Like, there's not a whole lot of downtime when you play them. Not there's just a lot of downtime when you play anyone in our league, but it's maximized here when you play a team like Cornell. And, you look at they're 2-3 in the league, but they lost at Princeton in a game they controlled and lost at the buzzer.
Yep.
They lost a close one to Penn, and then they lost at Yale. So, I mean, it's not like they have any bad losses. Those three teams, obviously, we all know how good they are. We've played them all already. And Cornell's really good. I think they're having a great season, and I think it's going to be we'll have our hands full on Saturday.
When they press, do they press to turn you over, press to speed you up, or a little bit of both?
A little bit of both, and other times they're just kind of showing pressure to wear you down, right? Like if you got to, we do it a lot with chemo, right? If the opposing point guard has to go against that for 40 minutes, you're going to be tired, right? And so, like, the good news for us, we have a lot of options as far as guys who can bring the ball up, whether they're guards or forwards, right? T is a forward, but he can bring it up.
Yep.
They'll look to turn us over. They'll look to speed us up. They'll look to wear us down. And we've got to make sure that we take what the defense gives us. We don't want to, we want to attack their pressure, but we also want to make sure that we still get the right shot for us at the right time. So it's something we've been working on. Good news is we've played some teams already this year that have shown some full court pressure, but we've got to make sure that we're aggressive while also being patient and selective.
Jordan Jones is their leading scorer, but he's missed about a half dozen games. He did play, however, against the Crimson last Saturday, correct?
He did, and he had a slow start, but then in the second half, I think he had 16 of his 18 points in the second half, hit 4 threes. He's really good. He's big. He can shoot it. Comes off the bench for him, at least against Harvard he did. But then, you go and you look at their starters and guys that come off the bench, and there's 7 or 8 of them that all average 7 points a game or more. I mean, one of their big kids off the bench, Ragland, averages 7 points a game in 9 minutes a game. I mean, talk about offensive productivity.
Yep.
I think Chris Mannon is a really tough matchup, right? Big, strong, physical, and skilled wing player. Dean Knoll, Sarju Patel are their 2 starting guards. They're both experienced and have quite a lot they can do to you from an offensive standpoint. The big kid Dixon is probably the best playmaking big guy in the league. Well, I guess right along there with the Tosan at Princeton, but leads their team in assists and can really pass it from the high post. So they've got so many different guys, and they have so many different skill sets. We've been working hard to familiarize ourselves and our players with their personnel and their tendencies. Easier said than done.
Yeah. All right, Coach. So that game starts 4 o'clock this Saturday. It's at the Pizzatola Sports Center. Brown will host Cornell. The game will be televised on ESPN Plus and on NESN Plus, and of course you can hear it right here on AM 790 WPRV. David Korzanowski and Kevin McNamara will be on the call with the pregame starting at 3:45. Coach, good luck against Cornell on Saturday.
Scott, thanks so much.
All right, that's the head coach of the Bears, Mike Martin. For the head coach of the Bears, also for Kimo Ferrari and Josh Watts, my name is Scott Credisci. Thanks for joining us, everybody.